We've got lots coming up in today's show, he says, grabbing the running order. We're a bit later on, we'll talk about Liverpool. Tricky period for them at the moment.
Yeah, man, that's tricky. 11 points clear.
Yeah,
Lovely.
Yeah, they've got no problem there. We talk about the Manc Derby. What a ball. I mean, that was terrible.
Probably the worst game I've seen in a long time.
It was. I
couldn't believe what I was watching.
When you take the weather into account, it looked like a Community Shield.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Awful.
It looked like a team that's not very good. You lot, and Manchester City, like, we're playing for top four. Like, top four, is this what it comes to?
Yeah,
we're playing for top four. Like, not.
Do you know what's nuts about it? I was talking to someone over the weekend about it, and it was one of the first games I can remember. The first Manchester derby I can remember for a long time when neither team fancied it.
Yeah, it was almost like end of season. Both teams are 12th and 11th. Well, you 13th maybe, 13th and 12th. Just go. We can't go down. We're not going up.
No, but as a fan. You didn't know. No. Usually it's like, we'll smash you, we're flying. But Man City are awful. Not awful, but not nowhere near the team they were.
Even the highlights. No chances, nothing. Terrible. I'm going to go at you, face planting the ball.
We'll talk EFL football, lots to talk about there. It's changing at the top of the championship.
That was more exciting.
That was. Well, that not always is, but it is such exciting football to watch. We'll talk about Joe Joyce. Does he need to call it a day? I do think that promoters have a duty of care. In fact, everyone that looks after someone like Joe Joyce has a duty of care to say, stop fighting now. Yeah. No good.
Enough's enough.
Was it 4 defeats in 5? No good. So all that and more is coming up. We're going to start with Southampton. They became the first team in Premier League history to be relegated with 7 games of the season left to play after being beaten by Spurs 3-1 yesterday. The Saints also confirmed they have reached an agreement to part ways with their manager as well, Ivan Juric. So, should they have stuck with Russell Martin?
Breaking news from the Premier League. Southampton have announced and confirmed their new manager is Ivan Juric.
Goodness me, Southampton, I don't know what to say. They lose again. It's 10 without a win.
There is the final whistle. Spurs 3, Southampton 1, and Southampton's awful appearance in the Premier League this season is now officially over.
We reported when Ivan Juric was first named Southampton manager that there would be a relegation break clause in the contract allowing the club to part company should he not keep them up.
It's our understanding here at talkSPORT that the departure of the manager Ivan Juric is imminent.
Yeah, Southampton, they've reached an agreement, whatever that really actually means, with their manager to leave the club following the Saints' relegation to or from the Premier League to the Championship. That was yesterday. Juric was appointed as Russell Martin's successor. That was on an 18-month deal in December, but has won just 2 of his 16 matches. Sunday's 3-1 defeat meant that Southampton became the side with the earliest relegation in Premier League history. Former Saints striker Ricky Lambert, he was on the Breakfast Show this morning, said that former gaffer Russell Martin was unfortunate to get sacked earlier on in the season.
The reason why Southampton got promoted was Russell Martin. Mm-hmm. That was the reason why they got promoted. They wasn't the third strongest squad in the Championship. They had a manager that got them to play a certain way, a little anomaly, and got them promoted. They needed players urgently, and what they did, they lost Che Adams, Stuart Armstrong, so he was actually weaker going into the Premier League than he was in the Championship. They didn't have a chance, so that's why I feel sorry for them. They've gone under now at the minute, the players, and it's just not nice to see.
Listen, before we talk about Russell Martin, it has been a disastrous season for Southampton. 10 points from 31 games, 25 defeats. How bad a team have they been in the Premier League? Just 10 points is nuts.
Yeah, it's been really bad. As you mean, one Premier League win since he got there, Ivan Juric, and that was against Ipswich, funny enough, at Portman Road. So that's not great. But I mean, it's a disaster when you look at Southampton this season.
Sorry, my seat's gone so low now.
When you look at Southampton this season, I mean, they came into the league with a particular brand of football that just wasn't going to work in the Premier League. We saw Vicent Kompany try it, and it didn't work. Didn't work for Russell Martin and Southampton. But I just wonder if the owners now looking back at this appointment and thinking, what was the point? Because I get it. You get a new manager in to get new ideas, new manager balance. And Ivan Juric came in, and there was no upturn whatsoever. I mean, he lost his first game to Southampton, then he to West Ham, then lost to Palace, then got smashed by Brentford, then they beat Swansea in the cup. It's just been lose upon then. So I just wonder if they're thinking, do you know what? I know we wanted to give ourselves a fighting chance in the Premier League, but the fact that they've got in some respects worse. Because the football, even Tyler Diblin under Russell Martin, he was somebody who was flourishing. Yeah. Since a new gaffer come in, Ivan Juric, nothing. He's looked like a complete shadow of himself. So it's been a really bad appointment. But Southampton next season. I mean, I know there are some Southampton fans out there thinking, I prefer the Championship, but it's been an awful campaign. I still don't think they'll get the record points because I think they'll nick a couple of points from somewhere.
Was it 11? Derby?
11, and they're on 10.
Yeah.
The fact that they've gone, I mean, some of the results then, the performances, you just think, do you know what it was? I think under Russell Martin as well at times, it's almost like, you keep making the same mistake. It was like they just didn't learn by their mistakes. Like, okay, we can't keep playing up from the back because everyone in the Premier League, not even just the Premier League probably, in the football pyramid knows what we do. So maybe let's try and change something. Nope, we'll keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, it was nuts.
And they never ever gave themselves a chance, ever. But no, they did give themselves a chance. Day one of the Premier League season starting. That was it.
Yeah. Listen, we'll take calls from Southampton fans. 03717 22 3344. Who would you like to see next? Russell Martin doesn't have a job at the moment, right?
Getting back.
Do you think so?
Getting back, getting promoted, and then assess it.
Yeah. Also, one of the questions we ask: how can we make it easier for promoted sides to stay in the Premier League? Now, Jason Cundy and O'Hara on the Sports Bar on April Fool's Day morning. As soon as it went midnight, April Fool's gags came out, and the gag they went with was that the Premier League have decided to make it easier for newly promoted teams, and they're going to give them, I think, a 3-point lead. I think that was the start of the season.
Yeah.
And people phoning up, this is terrible, this is a great idea, but obviously it's April Fool's.
Yeah, of course.
It's not a bad idea. Do you think that something needs to happen to allow newly promoted sides not more of a chance to stay up, but not a bit of favouritism, but just some, like for argument's sake, the transfer window's open for the whole season?
Which was funny. If they gave the newly promoted side 3 points and the season finished today, Southampton would still be on 13. Leicester would be on 20 points, and Ipswich would be on 23, and there's still means there'd still be 9 points off of safety.
Yeah,
I don't think the point system will work. Everyone has to start level playing field unless you get point deduction.
No, I agree with that. But is there a way to make it?
I think maybe the PSR rules, the FFP. I think maybe give them more leeway in terms of what they can bring in and what they can spend, because at the minute they can't compete. Like Ipswich spent a lot of money on a lot of players, but there's only been probably 2, maybe 3 that you'd go Premier League standard them. Liam Delap, obviously being one
of them, yeah.
So it's, I think FFP maybe look at that.
Okay, well, listen, we'll take all Southampton fans. Tell me about your season. Would you have Russell Martin back, etc.? And also, I'm guessing quite a lot of you prefer playing football in the Championship. So usually when a team gets demoted, there's a lot of misery around it. But I'm guessing Southampton fans, you've had an awful season, so you'll be quite pleased, I would guess, to play football in the Championship next season. But also, if you've got an idea how to make it easier, more fair.
It can only beat FFP.
You think so?
Yeah.
We'll leave the window open a bit longer?
Yeah, what does that mean?
So they can buy players in, I don't know, March or April.
Well, just them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's only going to be a select amount of players in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but at least they've got opportunities. I don't know. Maybe, listen, you lot out there are much better at this sort of thing than we are. So if you have an idea or you want to talk about Southampton or the newly promoted and relegated teams, you can. 03717 22 3344. Dial that. You'll be next live on Drive on talkSPORT.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.